The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
How we doing on a Thursday? I am on my days of the week today. Yes, I didn't even look at the rundown, and I knew it was Thursday, Charlie.
And I got it right today. So
and you have it right. Thursday, so November 20th.
We're on top of it.
2025. Right. Welcome in.
Even knows the year. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, to a good start on this show. It's going to be a good one, folks. Might be award-winning before this bad boy is done today.
I believe it.
Okay, now, again, the show, we have a lot of guests. Tomorrow, no exception, right? So tomorrow, this show will be on the road for a event called Stuff the Bus that they have done for years on our sister station here in Milwaukee, WMYX, and they fill up essentially city buses in the city of Milwaukee for Feeding America, which is a very cool deal, Eastern Wisconsin. And last year was the first year where I got to go out as a sister station and do my show and had a lot of fun. So we're going to be at the Metro Market in Wauwatosa coming up tomorrow from 2 to 5, trying to get as many people to donate money and donate food to try and fill up a city bus in Tosa while we're there from 2 to 5 tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow we have all of our normal Friday guests, plus we'll have a couple other people on as well. So a real jam-packed show tomorrow on a Friday. However, today, one guest, a big guest, as we eye up the enemy, the Vikings. Vikings beat writer Alec Lewis from The Athletic. He's a good dude. He'll join us coming up at 4:20. Outside of that, it's you, it's Charlie, and me. Let's go, right? More calls, more texts, all that fun stuff. Chatting on YouTube and on X as we stream live at WI Sports Radio. Always there for you as well. Or on, if you want to go on Facebook or Instagram, all that fun stuff. We're going to start off first talking about something that is a little fun, right? It's fun. And I really am interested to see where everybody goes with this going forward. So the Sports Business Journal, Milwaukee, or the Sports Business Journal in general, not just the Milwaukee Sports Business Journal, but just in general, Sports Business Journal on X that you can follow at SBJ, has been doing a cool thing, right? They've been asking who is going to be the next commissioner in the different pro sports, whether it be NBA, NHL, whatever the case is. So, like, for instance, the one I saved is who will be the next NBA commissioner? Sports Business Journal polled industry insiders to find out who they think might eventually be Adam Silver's successor. So they have different people, like Bob Myers, who used to run the Golden State Warriors. He's one of the guys that's in there. Masai Ujiri, how do you say his name?
Ujiri,
yeah. The Raptors guy that ran the Raptors, won a championship. He's the one that made the deal for Kawhi Leonard. So Masai is another guy that's in there that you would know who he is. Former NBA player Grant Hill. Can't imagine. But Grant Hill is in there as well, amongst others that they put up there as a possibility. And it's a very fun, cool deal. People asking, who might be the next commissioner. And we're going to talk Packers today, and we're going to talk some Brewers and Bucks and all that stuff. But I want to do a little something different here at 2 o'clock. Here's the question. It's going to need to use your brain. Brain power will be needed for this one. Okay? Sometimes we do dumb topics and you don't really need a lot of brain power. You can just figure it out. This one, you're going to need to use your memory banks. Use your brain. Who do you think has the best chance of being a commissioner in a pro sport that's based somehow one way or another out of the state of Wisconsin? Like Bud Selig, meaning the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers became the commissioner of Major League Baseball, right? There is that tie-in. And now, again, Bud kept the Major League Baseball commissioner's office in Milwaukee, for God's sakes. Didn't even go and do the thing in New York like everybody else does. That, I'm not even asking for that to happen, right? So, but who is that person or persons that you're like, you know what? That person would be a great commissioner for football, for baseball, for basketball, even for the NHL. Now, I'm not going to have a lot of opinion on that because I'm not very well versed in the NHL. But whatever the pro sport may be, who do you think those people are that would make sense, that would be a good commissioner in pro sports over what you have now, right? Over, say, Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell's wife, Jane, she was a TV anchor in Milwaukee on Fox 6 for years. Back then, she was known as Jane Skinner back in the day when she was on Fox 6. And she eventually ended up marrying Roger Goodell, and he became commissioner and all that fun stuff. So there's a tie-in a little bit to Wisconsin with the commissioner of the NFL as we currently sit. The NBA commissioner, obviously, is Adam Silver. I don't have a tie-in to Adam Silver from a Wisconsin perspective as far as how that all works. You had David Stern before that. And then, of course, you have Major League Baseball. Now, Major League Baseball had Bud Selig for a long, long time. I'm not sure Milwaukee will get lucky enough. But who do you think has the best chance of being a commissioner based out of the state of Wisconsin, like Bud Selig was? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. I've got a multitude of people that we can discuss and have a conversation about. My first guy that I had, which obviously is probably not going to happen now, I thought Mark Murphy had every chance to potentially be the commissioner of the NFL if Roger Goodell at some point said, I've had enough, I'm out. Because Mark Murphy, I think for the most part, universally loved in NFL owner circles and by players to a certain degree as well, where Murphy is just a guy that knows how to get along with everybody. You could take, for instance, I was talking to Brandon Snide earlier, and he, of course, is part of 9 to Noon with John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, weekdays from 9 to noon. He produces for him. Today, he was hosting because Rami hit a deer and did not go well for the car or Rami. So hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. But so Brandon was in today. So we were talking about, how's it going, so forth. And we were talking about Josh Albrecht, who does Inside Wisconsin Sports. And Brandon's like, pretty sure he could work with anybody at this point, right? Because coming up on the Friday after Thanksgiving, the lineup is going to be a little bit different, but 9 to Noon with Kuhn will actually be Josh Albrecht and Ronnie Makloff from 9 to 2. Those two guys have never worked together. And Brandon's like, Josh can work with anybody. Rami will be good. Ronnie can work with anybody. And then Brandon literally looked at me. He goes, I'm pretty sure we could interchange parts on any show and we all could work together and there would not be personality conflicts or issues or people hating one another. Like, it would work across the board. That is who Mark Murphy is. I could take Mark Murphy, put him into a room of people that he does not know, and I promise you, within the hour or two, he will walk out with friends and phone numbers, and people will be talking about, man, you meet that Mark guy? Man, cool guy, man. I like him a lot. We were talking about blah, blah. That's who Mark Murphy is. That's the type of guy that you want, or lady, doesn't matter. That's the other thing. People always don't ever bring up females for commissioner roles. I don't know why. At some point, that's going to happen. But Mark Murphy is that person who literally can get along with everybody and figure out how to bring people together. That's really what you want in that role, Charlie.
I think that's also part of the reason he may not work as a commissioner, though. I think as a commissioner, you have to make a lot of really tough decisions sometimes. You have to make people mad occasionally. And I think he seems like the type of guy that does like being in a town like Green Bay where everybody loves that team and everybody wants to be a part of that organization, and that he can go out there and make decisions that most people are just happy with because it's the Green Bay Packers and it's working and it's built up that place. I don't know. Kind of off of Mark Murphy, the guy that popped in my head, and I think we have to see how he does as the president of the Packers, but Ed Policy is a guy that I think potentially could be a commissioner one day. On CBS 7 in Wausau, they did an interview with Ed Policy, and he said...
got some sound?
No sound. This is a written article. He says, I had 2 dream jobs in mind growing up, Policy said. Running a team or commissioner of the league were 2. He also was the former Arena League football commissioner, president, and CEO before he joined the Green Bay Packers. So he has experience in a smaller world as that commissioner. I think if he can run the Green Bay Packers, which in my opinion might be one of the hardest teams to be the president of, you have a lot more on your plate to be the leader of this team. If he can run this team as well as some of the guys in the past, he's only 54 years old. Give it 6-7 years, he'll be in prime position to be at that spot.
Exactly right. Now, again, we don't know how long Roger Goodell will be commissioner or whatever. I didn't realize, good research there by Charlie Usen, finding the Ed Policy wants to be a commissioner one day. That makes all the sense in the world if that's something he wants to do. But to me, again, I don't know the dude, right? So I don't know he looks like he could be a commissioner, right? He dresses like he could be a commissioner.
And the first week, he talked about making tough decisions and saying Brian Gutekunst needs to prove himself. Matt LaFleur needs to prove himself. He's right there already putting more pressure than I think Mark Murphy ever really did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Murphy wouldn't put you in that way publicly.
No shot.
No chance. No, that definitely would not happen. My thing is, when you're a commissioner of a pro sports league, who do you work for?
The owners.
The owners. And people get confused, like they should care one way or the other about what the players think. But realistically, you're put in that place by the owners. You're not put in that place by the players. The players don't get to go, oh, no, I hate that guy. We're not going to let him be commissioner. It's the owners that got to vote you in and have that. So you have to have that relationship. So now that policy is in position, now he's going to be even more amongst owner circles. Not that he wasn't before. He probably was with going with Murphy or whatever. But now you really are going to get to see what this is all about. Will we see Ed Policy versus Jerry Jones at some point on opposing sides of an issue publicly? That's what I'm interested to see. Like, how firm, how much in will he get on an issue where publicly he'll fight one way or the other, or will he just kind of sit back and be like one of those guys that go, hey, y'all fight amongst yourselves. I know which way I'm voting, but that's not going to be a public thing with me.
Well, and I think what will help him with that type of confrontation, working with that board of owners, is, again, he's working with the Green Bay Packers, which is already run by a board of people on top of him. So that board of people, he already has to delegate and learn from each of those people how to work with each of those people. No other president is really doing that. They're working with one owner that's above them to help give them that kind of information. He's going to have a head start on that. And then his father has done this before for a long time too. Carmen Policy with the San Francisco 49ers. He has the history behind him too. It all just kind of makes sense. Sparky, I did want to ask you, out of these three professional sports leagues, MLB, NBA, NFL, again, we don't know that much about the NHL, but which of those commissioner spots do you think are going to open up first?
I think if you look at the commissioner roles as they currently sit, Silver is younger, Goodell is,
but Silver's also going through a really rough patch right now that could potentially derail things.
He ain't going to quit.
He's not going to quit, but
the owners ain't going to force him out either. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how crazy the world gets around this. But for right now, those are all younger guys. I mean, the old, without looking, I would guess, where's Gary Bettman at age-wise? Maybe Gary Bettman ends up being the first guy.
73.
Yeah. So Gary Bettman is probably the first guy in the NHL. And then you probably go to Major League Baseball. And then for Major League Baseball, then you go to the NFL, then you go to the NBA possibly.
I mean, Roger Goodell's 66. He's not that far behind.
He looks good for 66, don't he?
Yeah.
He looks good.
I was going to guess like early 60s, more so like 60 exactly, not 66. All right, Roger.
Yeah, go Roger Goodell. Yeah, all right, man. I don't look that good. I'm nowhere close to 60. So, yeah, good for Roger Goodell for pulling that one off. The other thing is, what about Mark Attanasio? That was another guy that I always thought made sense. But again, he's older, right? It's just like these other guys that we're talking about. But Attanasio is another guy that has always been vocal amongst owner issues and so forth, always kind of out there for the smaller market and trying to figure out the way. I think Attanasio might be another guy that would make sense.
Maybe, but I think he also has some of those Mark Murphy traits where he likes being in that kind of smaller spotlight where he can hide behind the fact that they're a small market team when things go wrong, and then also hide behind the fact that they're a small market team when things go right. He has that ability to kind of stay out of the spotlight and then also still be an influence. He doesn't seem like a guy that would want to be on that top stage and be up there in front of everybody and fighting that way. He'd rather influence people from underneath and get what he wants that way.
Got one coming in here on the Dugout YouTube and Twitter chat there, Charlie.
Jeff says Pat Murphy as MLB commissioner and Sparky as the FCC commissioner would be fun. Big changes coming there.
Okay. All right, let's talk about both of those quickly here. First of all, on Pat Murphy. The thing that also would have made Mark Murphy a perfect person for it is he played in the National Football League. He was a player, and he was with the players union and all of that. He was active. Now you take him and put him in a pseudo owner's role for all that time. He gets to see both sides of what it looks like. And yes, the owners would put him in a place, but you don't forget what it's like to be a player, man. If you play, that's always in your blood one way or the other. Now, maybe there are some that forget what it's like and completely go to the other side and for the paycheck or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, you never forget. That gives you the benefit of doing that. For instance, if we were to say take a radio station or a factory, right? How many GMs of factories actually pack parts in a box at some point earlier in their life in a factory? How many of those same people then did quality control in a factory, know what that's like? How many of those GMs then eventually was a manager of the floor and was in charge of all the machines and everything else? And then how many of those guys or girls then went on to do sales for the company and then eventually get to the GM? Because that person, rare, that person is the most qualified to be in that position versus somebody that was a sales manager, some other random company coming in and now it's going to run your company and doesn't know a lick about how anything works.
I don't know if for the owners, though, most qualified is as necessary as malleable and being able to.
What did you say?
Malleable, being able to change somebody and make them do what you want. If a guy's a former player, is going to be there for the players. Like we talked about before, it's not the commissioner role isn't made for the players. It's made to appease owners. That's who you work for. And I think sometimes that creates a rift between the commissioner and the players. And because of that, I think it would be hard to kind of get a former player to switch up on the current players in that situation. I think vice on the other side of things, if the current players see a former player in that role that's screwing them over in some cases, they may not take very kindly to that either. It's a lot easier to deal with a former nerd who's a billionaire that's coming to run this versus a guy that is you.
It's got a name call, people. Nerd. Hey, got some breaking news here on the Packers and Bears Week 14 game on Sunday, December 7th. So that's 3 weeks from right now, right? Because you got this week, Lions. Packer-Bears game flexed. Originally, it was going to be a noon kick on Sunday, December 7th. Now a 3:25 kick on Sunday, December 7th.
All right, I'm down for that.
Right?
They should flex it to Sunday night right away.
That'd be fine, too.
That'd be pretty cool.
3:25 kick now on Sunday, December 7th, instead of a noon kick on Sunday, December 7th. So Packer fans, mark it correctly so you know what actually is going to go on there. So, again, 3 weeks from right now, December 7th, that is now a 3:25 kick instead of a noon kick.
Yeah, Sunday night is Houston at Kansas City. Who cares? Throw Bears-Packers down there,
nobody cares about Houston at this point. I agree with you. That would have made more sense to flex that thing to the night one way or the other. All right, take a quick time out here, and we're going to come back. I saw something on social media last night that as a Brewers fan made me feel, I say angry, uncomfortable, got me to thinking about things concerning Major League Baseball. And we talk about the CBA all the time and a potential lockout and all of this other stuff. But I saw a picture last night involving a couple of players that were having dinner together and then more than likely are going to end up together on the same team. That really just got me shaking my head like, new CBA or not, like, is it really going to change anything? We'll discuss coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Earlier today, our good friends at Wendy's brought us some chicken tendies, and oh my goodness. Like, first of all, I want to explain something to you that I love chicken tenders. Like, if you're going to like a festival or a fair or whatever, some chicken tenders, some barbecue sauce, I am good if they're good chicken tenders. Now, you can screw up chicken tenders where they're hard and so forth, and they're not edible sometimes. And then I just get mad. Like, how in the world? These chicken tenders they brought us, Charlie, you had some chicken tenders.
I did.
Brandon had some earlier on 9 to Noon with Kuhn. They were absolutely freaking delicious, and we talk about them all the time and all the different sauces they got, right? So you got the new Wendy's signature, the new sweet chili, the new scorching hot, plus you got honey barbecue, that's the one I use, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're a perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable, you'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. I am a double stack guy. That is what I get nonstop, are double stacks. I'm telling you right now, Tendies, I think Tendies moved past double stack for me. Like,
really?
I think this is my go-to going forward.
Every time we've gone to Wendy's together,
double stacks.
A couple double stacks.
Yep, so, and I always get. Ask the family. I'll eat 2, 3, 4 double stacks. But now I'm going to get me a couple of orders of chicken tendies. I had one order, and they give you quite a few pieces, and they're good size. But, man, those chicken tendies were amazing.
I think I went through 2 sauce packets. I used the Wendy's
sauce.
So did
I went through 2.
And the scorching. The scorching.
You need 2 for each box of tenders.
Scorching is delicious.
Yeah.
I do want a little more scorching, though, you know?
I was scared to do that. I didn't know how my stomach was going to handle too hot. Lately, man, as I'm getting older, my stomach doesn't handle like super spicy stuff. I love the taste. So sometimes I'll do it, and I know I'm going to pay for it later. But
it's worth it.
Got to do the radio show. I didn't want to be running to the bathroom potentially if my stomach didn't handle it. But the chicken tendies at Wendy's, amazing. I put a video up if you want to see what they look like in the whole deal at Sparky Radio. Make sure to check that out. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here, Charlie Usen, other side of the glass here on a Thursday. Hope everybody is doing well here on a Thursday. Coming up, still we'll eye up the enemy with Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer for The Athletic. I was saying last night on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, I was taken aback and not happy by a picture that I saw come across. And it's from the Talkin' Baseball account. And it says Dodgers pitcher Yoshi Yamamoto and top Japanese free agent Munetaka Murakami grabbing dinner together. And they're at some restaurant and the chef or whoever is there with them and that whole deal. And you start looking at the people's replies, and it's a lot of GIFs of people rolling their eyes and all of that stuff. Now, Murakami is a guy, Charlie, you said he's the first baseman, right?
Yes. He's power hitter, home run hitter, MPB, like all-time leader, I think. He's awesome. Yeah.
So he can't hit speed, apparently.
No, he cannot. But
outside of
Shohei
that,
Ohtani couldn't either. That's what was one of the big concerns with him, too.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. So this could be Murakami here, could be the designated hitter. Freddie Freeman plays first, and you add a power hitter at the DH. What that means for Max Muncy, I'm guessing he'll end up at third again or whatever they do. But I literally looked at it. Maybe I rolled my eyes. I don't remember exactly the initial reaction. But then I said to myself, oh my goodness. Like, even if they fix the CBA, we lose the 27th season, let's say, because it's coming up after the 26th season in Major League Baseball. Even if they do that, is it going to change anything for the Dodgers at the top of the food chain? Does it really going to make things that much easier for the Milwaukee Brewers at this point? If the Dodgers continue to get the top players from Japan and have one of the top scouting departments in Major League Baseball, as their minor league system is normally always near the top, does a salary cap even really matter at this point for the Brewers in other small markets? That's my question. Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Charlie Usen, you and I had this conversation briefly in our pre-show meeting when I brought this topic up. You had to come back quickly to me, so let's have the conversation. You, of course, can jump aboard and have the conversation as well. What say you?
Yeah, the Dodgers are awesome in Japan. They do a really good job scouting over there. The Brewers do a really awesome job of scouting in Central America. Are people going to start complaining about that without a new CBA? The Brewers continue to be at the top of the NL Central doing that and being able to have one of the top minor league systems in all of baseball. Like, they can do this too. Other teams can do this. The Pirates can have a top scouting department and do a pretty good job of scouting in the Central America. They just don't keep their players for a long time. That's the biggest problem here. So it's not that, I guess, in my mind, that the Dodgers have this overall power because they do the scouting right and they do the international free agency right and they have all this money. The other teams can do those first two things too. They just don't have the money right now to compete with those guys. It's a lot easier for LA to say, you know what, we're Los Angeles. That's a plus already compared to Cincinnati or Milwaukee in some people's minds. And we have the ability to give you $250 million, which is $100 million more than any other team can give you. If you change that, it becomes a lot more enticing to just be in a good organization, which the Dodgers still are, but Milwaukee becomes a bigger option than too. Cincinnati, for some people, maybe becomes a bigger option. Some of these other teams will have a better chance at getting to that point, even though the Dodgers are still good at these things.
I think from a Brewers standpoint, you can obviously compete with them as far as farm systems. Do me a favor, Google and see who the top farm systems are in baseball right now. Everybody put out their new list of farm systems after the season was done and updated farm systems. See where, say, the Brewers are versus the Pirates or the Dodgers and some of these other smaller market teams against the LA Dodgers. Because for the longest time, and I'm guessing they're still up there again this year, they've had one of the better farm systems every year. Now, you ask yourself, well, how can that be? Well, it's easy. A, they don't have to make mega deal trades in order to put top talent on their Major League Baseball roster. If the Brewers, for instance, this offseason, the Brewers need a hitter, right? So let's say they decide, we want Arenado from the Cardinals, let's say. Now, again, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm just saying they're going to have to give up prospects. We talked about Nato, the shortstop from the Angels yesterday. And Charlie went over a Guardians proposal, some Guardians blogger did, about what it would take to get NATO. And it's like 4 prospects in the top 30 or whatever. And then we were like, okay, well, what does that mean for the Brewers farm system to get a shortstop in here that's got some 20, 25 home run power, can hit for a decent average to replace Joey Ortiz? And we went over that. Guess what? The Dodgers don't have to do this. The Dodgers don't have to trade 5 or 6 guys. They'll just go sign somebody. They don't got to go through and deal half their farm system like the Brewers did in order to get Zach Greinke for the Royals. And what did that do? That set up the Royals to go to 2 World Series just based on the majority of the players they gave them in that deal. But Doug had to play for now, not the future. The Royals were playing the long game, and it worked out great at that point. All right, Charlie, what do you got?
So if we look at some of the bigger accounts that are doing the top prospect rankings, so like Baseball America, the minor league system, Thomas Nestico on Twitter does a lot of this stuff. He's a baseball nerd, quote unquote. He has about 50,000 followers. A lot of them have the Brewers in kind of that second tier of rankings. So like the Mets have about 7 top 100 prospects right now. The Brewers are with the Twins, the Blue Jays, Seattle, the Dodgers, and Cleveland in that 5 to 6 range.
This is the thing. Again, I'm all for getting a salary cap. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm all for taking the salary floor that doesn't exist and moving it up. And again, that's why I think there is a good portion of, if the Pittsburgh is actually going to spend money, I think this is kind of what it is. In 2026, we raised our payroll by $30 million. We're trying. We don't need a salary floor. We're trying. Look, we're trying. I think that might be part of the play here. Sparky's conspiracy theory and why all these guys eventually are now going to spend money where in years past they never spent money.
But what's going to be the problem for the Pirates, what's going to be the problem for the Rockies, and I don't think this is as much of a problem for like Colorado, is the fact that nobody just wants to play for their organization anyways. I think it's kind of the problem right now is that people don't really like the ownership in Pittsburgh. People don't really like the facilities all that much for the players in Pittsburgh. It's really about the fan experience in Pittsburgh for the most part, and they don't care about the team on the field from what everybody says. Right. And then that leads to them not caring about the fans either, even though that's what they say they care about. So all this stuff kind of builds into that. So yeah, the Pittsburgh can go out there and offer the same contract to somebody as maybe Philadelphia does. But then people talk about how much they love playing in Philadelphia, or people talk about how much they love playing in Milwaukee, and players are going to choose that over Pittsburgh still. So that stuff is going to matter and won't just automatically change because the Pirates start offering money to people.
See, and that's the other thing about this is when you get into the offseason and you have the owners, how honest do you think the owners really are with one another? Like, do you think somebody is going to run their mouth about somebody else's stadium or somebody else's other stuff that they have? And be like, hey, maybe if you put some money back into your stadium, maybe if you put some money into your locker rooms, maybe if you didn't play in a dump in spring training, like, do you think it gets that real with owners when they're in there having a meeting in a ballroom or wherever they're having their meetings at? Does it get that real, Charlie?
No, I don't think the top owners or the owners of the top franchises are talking down on the bottom franchises, but I think the owners of the bottom franchises are probably bootlicking the top franchises in order to get them on their side in certain things so that they can continue to kind of weasel their way out of paying players, weasel their way out of making competitive teams because they're making money right now. So whenever there's situations like this where there could be a salary for at some point, the Pirates want to be really good friends with the Yankees so that the Yankees can defend the Pirates later on.
If you are the Milwaukee Brewers, you have that connection, right? That got you Cheerio, that got you Made, and you're working that pipeline. That's a pipeline you need to continue to obviously work to make yours and continue to supplement this. While they do fine in the draft, their international game right now seems to be really maybe as good, if not better, than what their draft game is, which is going to be beneficial going forward. I'll tell you something else that could really screw this up is if we get to a CBA and they go, okay, you're going to have a salary cap floor of 150 or 125 or whatever the salary cap floor is. Brewers were at 125 this year, right? Whatever they decide the salary cap floor is. Now we take that and we go, there's going to be no cap, but we're going to have huge luxury tax fines at different levels like they do in the NBA. We're going to put that into Major League Baseball, okay? All right, fine. Dodgers may still spend money, but they're going to pay a whole bunch into it if they do. But if they then go in and say, no more international draft signings, and now that's going to become a draft, part of the draft itself, that is going to screw all of these smaller markets even more than everything else did before. Because now you're going to let the Dodgers not have to worry about covering all the ends of the earth. Now all they got to worry about is what's there to get and then potentially draft those guys. But there's a but. If the international draft is merged with the regular draft, you know how many kids are going to get screwed out of getting drafted, number one. Or number two, they go back to saying we're back to 50 rounds again because we're adding all the international players in. So it's going to be a 5-day draft. But all these kids that may have gone earlier now are going to fall down the draft boards and go much later. And thirdly, then you have to put an age restriction on it, which also screws teams like the Brewers. Because right now you can sign a kid at 16. He could sit over there and play for a couple of years before you bring him stateside at 18. And by that time, already been trained up for 2 years in your academy and all of that. Now you go stateside and you watch Cheerio move. You watch Made move. So if you have a draft, you go, now you have to be 18. And all these academies are essentially worthless at that point because now there's no longer signing and training kids for a couple of years. And you have no advantage over anybody else. It saves owners a lot of money because now you can still have scouts down there, but you don't need everything that they have. So that's another aspect to look at with a CBA, Charlie.
I mean, this is all stuff that I think they're going to have to talk about and things that like the NBA has done already, where they put the international players into the draft and say, you know what, you have to fight for your spot. And I think there's a lot of players from America right now that are a little bothered that there were 2 back-to-back picks from France and Victor Wembanyama and Zachary Rizachet to be the top 2 players in that draft. And that is a little frustrating, but you know what? Then play better basketball. Find your way to put up on the board. I think you can say the same thing in the MLB. Yeah, it's a little frustrating that these international players are going to have to come in through the draft, but I think at the same time, it does give the Brewers a better chance at getting a Murakami or a Shohei Ohtani earlier in his career. Stuff like that, where it becomes something of this does give you that advantage instead of losing to dinners with Yoshinobu Yamamoto like we're seeing right now.
Here's Charlie Usen, C. Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Coming up next, our botch moment of the day, and it involves Drake May and Stephen A. Smith.
Your favorite.
You got to be kidding me. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And man, when you start talking about Bucks games, you start talking about games at Fiserv Forum, and you start talking about having to pay parking prices, I've complained about that on the air for quite some time. I've complained to Peter Fagan about it several times over the course of time. Well, tonight you've got Bucks at home against the Sixers, 7:00 tip. So, want to hit up the Potawatomi Sportsbook before the Bucks home game tonight, but need a ride to the game? Slam dunk. Hitch a ride on a Potawatomi game day shuttle. Just make a bet at Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle to Fiserv Forum. After you purchase or bet, a wristband will be given to you at the bar or betting counter upon request. You'll need the wristband to board the Potawatomi shuttles. Shuttles then begin departing 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, with return shuttles starting at the beginning of the third quarter and will run nonstop until an hour after the game. Why drive downtown and pay for parking when you can ride the shuttle? It's a no-brainer. For more information, simply visit Potawatomi.com. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
It's time for the botched moment of the day. Bad call, dropped pass, horrible coaching. Did someone say the wrong thing? Let's get to it on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, botched moment of the day. Do it every day around this time. I let Charlie usually come up with it every day and figure out which way we want to go with it. I'm going to give you some background to this, okay? So Cam Newton came out and said that the success that the Patriots are having is fool's gold because they're not playing a tough schedule. You could probably say the same thing about the Bears, right, Charlie? I mean, hey, not playing a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe once you
say it all the time.
Once you see real teams in the playoffs, out you go, and that'll be nice. So that was Cam Newton's take on it being fool's gold. Well, Drake May went on WEEI out in Boston and said that he doesn't even know what show Cam Newton is even on. I don't know what show he's even on. Then he said, quote, I think they get paid to make remarks and make certain comments. So I just worry about what people in our organization think and worry about what we think and what my teammates think. People are going to have different opinions. I'm just going out there on Sunday and worrying about ourselves. Okay. Cam Newton doesn't know what TV show Cam Newton's on. Okay, fine. To me, personally, makes a lot of sense, right? Not everybody is watching TV all hours of the day and so forth. And if a lot of these guys are off social media like they say they are, you wouldn't even see that stuff on social media either. Well, Stephen A. Smith on First Take, his show, none too happy with Drake May by saying he doesn't know what show Cam Newton is on because nobody has a bigger ego walking the face of the earth than Stephen A. Smith. Check this out. Okay, I'm Stephen A. Smith. I'm great. Everybody knows me. Everybody watches my show.
I'm a hero. All these former athletes are puppies in a shelter that I'm saving because they can't get jobs at all.
These former athletes wouldn't be able to get jobs anywhere.
Shut up.
Anywhere. It wouldn't be able to get jobs.
Just crazy. Absolutely nuts.
But again, this is this dude. And part of the reason your ego is the way it is because this dude's making more money than a lot of athletes are making on a year-to-year basis, Charlie. That's also part of it, too.
Mm-hmm. He's the one paying these athletes that are on his shows.
You've seen him walk on the floor when LeBron went at him. He's walking on the floor like he owns the damn place.
Like he was going to go play Game 7. That's what it looked like. He was ready to go. It's crazy that Drake May didn't say anything disrespectful in my mind. I think what he was saying is the truth and how he should think about it. He shouldn't be worrying about what the national media is saying. Yeah, he used to love Cam Newton. That's the other thing people are bringing up, that Cam Newton is like Drake May's idol and all this. But Cam Newton hasn't really said anything nice outside of the night Drake May was drafted to Drake May since then. It's always been discrediting him and what he's doing for the Patriots because I think Cam Newton hates the Patriots because they didn't treat him the best when he was there. Correct. So I think there's some animosity there from Cam Newton. And Drake May is just saying, you know what? I'm a Patriot right now. I can't listen to somebody knocking the Patriots because that's the team I'm riding for at the moment. And I have to go out there and just play my game. That's not disrespectful to Stephen A. And for Stephen A to go out here and pretend like Drake May owes him anything, or Drake May owes all these former athletes anything, Ryan Clark or Cam Newton, is absolutely absurd. That Drake May's doing this on his own. He doesn't have to owe Cam Newton just because he used to like watching Cam Newton play football. That's nuts to me.
Correct. This is the kind of crazy thing in all of this, right? So Skip Bayless was pretty good at what he did as well with Stephen A. Smith. Now, Stephen A. Smith, fast forward, takes all the credit for all this stuff here in the present. But if we're being honest, without Skip, Stephen A. doesn't just do this by himself. It took Skip Bayless, who also was a well-known commodity and personality. They put them together, they hit gold, and away they went. Then Skip left and went out on his own and failed miserably, got paid millions on the way out to failing. But it took both of those guys to get to be the rock stars that they both are at this point. I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith isn't known. I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith hasn't helped maybe some players along. There's a bunch of females that think that he's hurt their careers more than helped their careers. But either way, we're not going to get into that. Don't get so offended, dude. You make millions of dollars. Who gives a damn?
You are the king of ESPN. Everybody knows it. You don't need to tell us.
Who cares if Drake May doesn't know what show Cam Newton is on? Are you so insecure, dude, that you got to worry about Drake May saying he doesn't know what show? He didn't say he didn't know what show Stephen A. Smith was on. He didn't say he never heard of Stephen A. Smith. He just said, I don't know what show Cam Newton's on. There's a million of those damn talk shows.
And he's on all of them. He goes on Get Up all the time. He goes on Pardon the Interruption all the time.
See, you watch those shows more than I do.
Right. He's on all of these shows all the time. He goes on other networks and is on other network shows.
What he very well could have done was, hey man, I don't know what show Cam Newton's on. I know this. He doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. So I guess I'll stop being fools, go along with my team once we win a ring. So we'll just measure me up against that. And if and when we win a ring, I guess we can look at Cam Newton's career and call that fool's gold, right? Because you got there, but you couldn't finish, and then you pouted with a towel over your head and cried about it. And now you're more famous now for doing these TV shows, apparently, than you were before.
Exactly. It's just weird, again, for him to constantly, and Drake May's not the first one he's done this to either. He just goes out there and is like, well, I don't know if he can do it. It's very Shaq-esque, because Shaq does that a lot, too.
Again, it doesn't make any sense to reply to these guys. Like, that's the thing I don't get. Like, if you're a public figure and somebody comes and attacks you on X or whatever, right? Why go back and forth? What is that going to do? It doesn't do anything. It's not going to help you by saying it. It's not the same thing as Jalen Ramsey spitting in your face or Jamar Chase spitting in your face or whatever the case may be. Okay, yeah, punch the dude. Do what you got to do. I totally support that. But going back and forth and having these nonsense battles about some guys that are done playing and what they say on TV, who cares, man? Like, if I was Drake May, I was like, I'm not talking about that. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in as we broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Thanks for tuning in here on a Thursday. A reminder, tomorrow out on location for this show from 2 to 5, doing a Stuff the Bus event for the Hunger Task Force Eastern Wisconsin in Wauwatosa, for those of you in the Milwaukee area, in Tosa there from 2 to 5 at the Metro Market. So come on over. They have pre-packaged bags you can get for like $5 to throw on a city bus and be out at all kinds of different locations. But I'll be broadcasting from that location tomorrow again from 2 to 5. So hope to see y'all there. And again, if you're not able to make it or be out there or around, there is a link as well that you can find too. If you're listening on WNFL in Green Bay, 99.7 FM, or on 93.9 The Game in Wausau, or 710 The Game in Duluth, Superior, wisportsradio.com, and check that out. And you can always make a financial contribution and so forth with that. All right, so I want to switch gears away from this botched moment about Stephen A. going off about Drake May and not knowing what show Camp Newton is on. And I want to talk about this Packers offensive line because I found some numbers that say this Packers offensive line is a lot better than we give them credit for. But before we do that, Trell, north side of Milwaukee, wanted to hop in here on Stephen A. Smith. What's up, Trell?
Hey, how you guys doing? I just wanted to say, Sparky, like, I think you guys made some excellent points about him. I just can't respect the person that's always talking about who he put on, who he gave opportunities to, and a person that sees no length when it comes to money, that he's willing to do just about anything for the length of money. I understand people want to make money, people want to be rich and all that, but when you don't have any type of moral compass when it comes to doing certain things, I can't respect you because I can't trust you. And when someone's bloviating about how many opportunities he gave somebody and you owe me this, because he's been doing that for the last few days about all the people in ESPN who he gave a platform
Well,
to.
and he's going at the females that are going after him too. So if you go after him, he's definitely going back after you. And pretty much everybody that's gone after him that's worked with him have been females. I haven't heard any men really go after him.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about it. Like he picks on certain types of people. I'll just say it like that. And for some reason, he won't say things about other people who he's worked with. And now he's all of a sudden so apologetic to Skip all of a sudden. So I'll just leave it as that. And that's all pretty much I had to say about that.
Skip and him, by all accounts, were cool. Like, there weren't no real issues necessarily between him and Skip as far as off the air and so forth. Thanks for the call. I don't know, man. Like I said, I give credit to the man. He made a lot of money. And he's become a huge, bigger than life type personality, whether you agree with him or not. They call him Screaming Stephen A. Whatever the case may be. But I kind of tend to lean towards Terrell. And as I said before, nobody's got a bigger ego than that dude right now. Nobody on the face of the earth, I don't believe. Well, maybe there's a couple other people, but I mean, for the most part, he's probably top 5, top 10 when it comes to thinking so highly of himself and thinking he's above everybody. That is definitely and has been that dude for quite some time now.
Do you ever get Screaming Sparky Pfeiffer? I think that works too.
No. No. I've had a lot of swear words put into my name and a lot of other things. Yeah, sure. I even get stuff on the text line. I got people on the text line coming at me all the time too that I don't read on the air. So yeah, absolutely. I get stuff all the time, for sure. No question. All right, let's talk about the Packers offensive line. The question is simple. Have we been too hard on the Packers offensive line based on some of the advanced stats that have come out here in the last 24 hours? And a lot of these accounts use Pro Football Focus and use a lot of sports information solution and ESPN analysis and so forth. And then they put composites together. And there's an account from Ben Baldwin. It's Ben B. Baldwin on Twitter. And his goes by Computer Cowboy. And he's got all the numbers and so forth. He put out this thing last night, pass protection ratings composite for the offensive line. If we're being honest, I started looking for the Packers somewhere around 20. That's where I started. I started on the right side of the tweet looking, and I'm like, oh, the Texans, the Cowboys, the Lions are 22 in this deal. The Ravens are 28. The Bengals are 31. Okay, all right, fine. I get it. Where the hell are the Packers at? Looking. Packers are 7.
That's pretty good.
That doesn't make any sense. The Bears are 5. I haven't watched every Bears game, but when I have turned it on, Caleb Williams is running for his life. And they're 5. Now, the number 1 team is the Buffalo Bills. The number 2 team is the Denver Broncos. Now, to give you an idea of how this all works, he uses Pro Football Focus grade is 40%. The Sports Information Solutions blown block percentage is 40%. And the ESPN pass block win rate is 20% of this. That's kind of how he puts it all together. So the Packers are 7th and with a total score of 73 as an average. So 72 from Pro Football Focus, 68 from Sports Information Solution, and an 82 from ESPN. So that right there, I was like, oh, come on, man. What are we doing here? That doesn't seem right at all from the eye test. So then you go down, and he's got several other charts broken down even further. Now he's got one that says pass block rates of offensive linemen in true pass sets. Now, this excludes plays, and again, this is hard to follow, so just bear with me. Excludes plays with less than 4 rushers. Okay, so they're rushing like 2, right, at the end of a game scenario or something like that. Play action, screens, short dropbacks, and time to throw under 2 seconds. Because Charlie asked me, okay, what does this all include? So once I read it to Charlie's like, okay, seriously, true pass plays, right? So there's no funky stuff going on. You drop back and you throw. Number 1 team, the Eagles. So I'm looking for the Packers. Now that I know he was 7, I was like, okay, well, they're not going to be in the 20s. The Bears are 8th. The Packers are 10th in that scenario. But he has it broken down by position. At the center position, where Elton Jenkins has caught a lot of flack from different people, he's the 4th best center in football based on this. Well, overall, I mean, Sean Ryan played a game, but Elton Jenkins, 66th, 4th best grade. The tackle position is 67, which is still top half of the National Football League. Their worst position by far is the guard position, as we all expected, with a 51. Ooh. That is brutal.
Yeah, not great, but we've all seen how Jordan Morgan has played this season. Aaron Banks has been in and out of that lineup, so it's been a rotating door over there. I mean, it just has not looked good from there, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, not good at all. I'm sitting here looking at it right now. The Vikings, 5th in this scenario, 71 from the tackle, 57 at the guard, 56 at the center position. And the guard position, not so great. Very good at the tackles. So the question we have is, have we been too hard on this Packers offensive line based on some of those numbers that I'm reading, based on what they're watching? Now, again, Pro Football Focus, some people love it. Some people hate it. A lot of players can't stand it. There are a bunch of people in front offices that do like it and have given Chris Collinsworth all kinds of things he can publish to say how great they think it is. So you could have your thing on that. ESPN's a whole nother can of worms. And then our guys over at Sports Information Solutions that Charlie and I have gotten to know over the years, they've got their own other set of metrics and guys that are watching film as well. So as Charlie would say, you have 3 sets of nerds that are all watching this and then putting grading numbers on it and so forth. You listening and me and Charlie have our eyes. That's what we use to watch it, right? We're not sitting here watching a game 12 times and having a grading process like Andy Herman. Kind of a nerd, right? He has his own grading system, and he watches games like 3 times or 4 times each week before it goes.
He might be the nerd, if I'm being honest.
I love Andy Herman, but he's way over the top into analyzing this stuff. So again, Pack a Day podcast, if you're looking for Andy Herman, but that is different than the rest of us. So I'm asking you, you watch these games. Does it feel like to you, when it comes to pass blocking, that this team is a top 10 team in the National Football League, like these advanced metrics say? Nicolay Law, talk a text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio.
I would say with the Packers and Bears, the sample size just doesn't seem like it's there. Looking at the Packers' overall play breakdown on the season, this is courtesy of NFL Savant. You can head over there on NFLSavant.com. Their offensive pass versus rush count so far this season, and mind you, the Packers' run game has not been great at all this year. It's actually been really disappointing so far. They have still ran the ball 13 more times this season than they've even thrown the ball. They've ran the ball 496 times, and they've thrown the ball 483 times. Their pass and play type breakdown by down on first down, they've run the ball 307 times versus 185 throws. Even when you go to second down, it goes to 197 throws to still 177 rush attempts. And then they're just running the ball behind Elgton Jenkins. If you look at their formations, they're running it out of shotgun and then running it straight behind the center for a majority of their run plays. I mean, they're just not really doing a whole lot of creativity right now on the offensive side of the ball, which also means that you're not really running a whole lot of plays where Jordan Love is in a true pass set, where the offensive line is in a true pass set. You're running a lot of play action. You're running a lot of screen passes, and you're running the ball up the middle. That's what you do right now. And I would say that, yes, these stats look good on paper, but when you're watching this offense, you can tell that they just aren't giving the offensive line opportunities to mess up. It's Matt LaFleur coaching this team to the point that he is making sure they can't go wrong.
This is the other thing. We talk about the NFL and where we are right now. I don't ever really hear people talk about the dilution of talent. Is that a word? Or maybe I just made it up.
Sounds right to me.
That the talent is diluted, right? Mm-hmm. You hear it sometimes in the NBA, like, man, if they didn't have so many teams, that product would be so much better. In Major League Baseball, how much better would Major League Baseball be if you had 20 teams in Major League Baseball? How stacked would all the Major League Baseball teams be, Charlie, if there were only 20 teams?
They'd be loaded. I mean, LA would just have the entire Team Japan over there if they wanted.
It would be completely different, right? Like every team would have a shot to do something because every team would be filled with star players. Same in the National Football League. You being a former lineman, watching this, to me, I feel like offensive line play has gone the wrong way in the National Football League over the course of time. Because if you're telling me the Packers are 7th and you're telling me there are, 25 more teams worse than them at pass blocking? You want to talk about horrible? That's horrible.
It is, but we're also looking at a league where Myles Garrett is set to break the single season sack record. That he will be the second player in the past 3 years to do so. He has a player right behind him in Nick Bonito, who just came out of nowhere and has been a monster on that defensive line. You're facing a lot of different defensive pressures and then different types of athletes on that defensive line, where a lot of the offensive linemen are still the same type of player you saw 20 years ago. It's big guys who are supposed to be maulers, being able to beat guys up. But when they're not fast enough to go up against the new type of defensive lineman, it becomes a struggle. But now you're starting to see a lot of these younger offensive linemen that are getting drafted in the first round. Just Los Angeles in their own, the Chargers, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt are hurt right now, but you see that type of player becoming more common, the skinnier type of tackles that are able to fly across the field and break down a defensive back on the other side. These are the things you need to start seeing from these offensive line and the adaptions. And the Packers just seem like they've given a lot of opportunities to guys like Aaron Banks, the big body guys, the Anthony Beltons, that just aren't what the modern offensive line needs to look like.
Speaking of Anthony Belton, I don't know if you heard this. Anthony Belton now practicing at guard, by the way.
He's too big to play tackle.
He's been practicing at tackle. They've now moved him inside to guard. You want to know what that means? Jordan Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
They're running out of patience, Jordan Morgan.
Jordan Morgan's built to be a tackle, like we've talked about.
Why,
and they want to put him out
when
there.
He got drafted. Hey, I'm a left tackle. I'm on all this moving around stuff, but I'm a left tackle.
But then I also don't think he's strong enough to deal with a Myles Garrett. I don't think he's strong enough to deal with these types of defense ends that you're seeing on his own right now.
Well, we're going to find out one way or the other. But when I saw Belton's practicing this week at guard, that is one of two things. A, they're not convinced Aaron Banks isn't going to get hurt again.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's out of the woods. Or two, they've about had their fill of watching Jordan Morgan on film, and they're about ready to try something else.
Or three, Zach Tom may not be healthy, and maybe they do want to try Jordan Morgan at a tackle position. Maybe they're going to move him out to right tackle and have Belton come in and play guard.
No, I don't want to think about that. No. I got the new injury report coming in from the Green Bay Packers. Status changes from yesterday. Josh Jacobs practicing. There was some video out there today on social media of Josh Jacobs doing some light jogging. So Josh Jacobs, limited participant today. And Bo Melton, who had in practice with his shoulder injury, he also a limited participant today. And Savion Williams, who has not participated with a foot injury, he's back out there. He is a limited participant. So right now, the still not participating, Carl Brooks with an ankle issue, Nate Hobbs still out with a knee issue at this point, and Quay Walker with that neck also not participating. It's Thursday, right? So probably safe to say Brooks and Hobbs and Quay Walker probably don't play if they're not playing on Thursday still.
Probably not, and we know Hobbs.
I mean, tomorrow for sure. If they're not practicing Friday, they're probably not playing Sunday.
We know Hobbs probably isn't going to play. He's been dealing with that knee. It's been an issue for him. And Quay Walker looked pretty serious in that last game. It's probably a good idea to give him at least 1 week break.
Correct. So we'll see what happens there. There's not really any major injuries per se of guys that probably won't play this week.
Just a lot of names, though, on the report. I think it was 17 total.
Christian Darrisaw is interesting because he was a full participant in a fake, did not have an official practice yesterday, but they listed him as a full participant. And now today on an actual practice listed as did not participate with a knee injury with Darrisaw, the tackle. So not sure what that's all about, but we're going to eye up the enemy with Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer from The Athletic, coming up at 4:20. You know what I spent a lot of time doing last night? Reading bash pieces on J.J. McCarthy. One after another.
He says he's a cork in a bottle ready to explode.
I saw what the man said. But I'm telling you, they are out with pitchforks in Minnesota for this too.
Man.
But this is my problem. He hasn't even started a full season. What are we doing?
It's the
chill out, man.
It's the Josh Rosen effect. It's where he goes out there and says things that make him seem a little more overconfident than he probably should be at these moments. Him going out there and calling himself 9, that's the biggest joke on the internet right now. Everybody loves calling him 9 because they think he said it's his alter ego and all this other dumb stuff. He needs to just shut up and go out there and play football because he's had his moments this season in his rookie season, essentially.
What are you saying? He's trying to be T-Plush.
Basically, T-Plush went out there and balled out though for a couple of seasons.
Because that was the alter ego to Nigel Morgan.
He was able to go out there and prove that he could be T-Plush for a little bit.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy hasn't done that yet.
No, he has not done that for sure. No, he has not. The one thing we did for certain was have some chicken tendies earlier today. They dropped them off with all kinds of sauces and everything else. If you look at my video, it's up at Sparky Radio. They gave me, I'm not quite sure if it's a bandana or what exactly. Would you say it's a bandana?
It's a bandana.
I used it as a bib. So I tucked it into my shirt so I didn't get barbecue sauce all over my shirt, and then dipped and got busy with the chicken tendies. I'm telling you, double stack's always been my go-to. Charlie will tell you that. My family will tell you that. This overcomes the double stack, I think. I think this is my new go-to favorite thing.
I think they're up there, too. They're right up there.
Good.
Right up there next to the Snickerdoodle Frosty for me.
Frosty Fusion.
Yeah, so good, man.
Love that. In a world of tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies. I do. And yes, it's fun to say, even more fun to eat. And Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce line of new Wendy's signature, new sweet chili, and new scorching hot. That's what Charlie had. Or choose one of the classics, honey barbecue. That's mine. Creamy ranch or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're the perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable. You'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears over to the Milwaukee Bucks. On this show, I like to talk Packers, Bucks, and Brewers if we can on most shows. Obviously, a Green and Gold Monday, it's going to be a majority Packers, clearly. On a Football Friday, it's going to be a lot of football, right? Fantasy football every Friday. Confident, concerning, curious lead off the show every Football Friday. We'll do all of that again tomorrow. Ryan Wood, Packers beat writer every Friday. So that's okay. Those are the exceptions. But other than that, I like to try and get to all three teams every day on this show and not just be completely Patrick-centric all day long. So I'm going to switch gears to the Milwaukee Bucks because as we talked about yesterday, Michael Pena of The Ringer wrote this long article for The Ringer that was a complete waste of time by saying that the Bucks aren't good without Giannis. Well, really. So now ESPN has decided, oh, look, we're going to copy him like we do everywhere else. So now they went and they put a piece up at the trade deadline. What could the Bucks do at the trade deadline to make themselves better? Can they overcome 2 weeks without Giannis? Yada. And in there, they bring up Kevin Porter Jr. And Kevin Porter Jr.'s best year in the league, he averaged 19 points with the Houston Rockets a couple of years ago, right? Question I have for you is simple. How much can the Bucks expect to improve when they get Kevin Porter Jr. back next month? They get him back into the lineup here next month. He's practicing now, like with the skeleton practices. So he's going to be back, I would assume, I don't know, first, second week of December, somewhere in that area, hopefully, if it all plays out correctly. How much can we expect the Bucks to improve once they get KPG back? In fact, you realize they may get Porter and Giannis back at the same time.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement to go along with it. That's what we're going to talk about next. Nicolay Law Talk text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Steve Sparky Fiver with you. Charlie using other side of the glass. Still to come. We'll get to Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up here in about the next 10, 15 minutes. Still also to come, 4 o'clock hour, Green and Gold Update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 420, Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer for The Athletic, will join us, and then things Sparky missed. It's a crazy pickleball story I've got to tell you about. Also, Brian Woodruff had some thoughts about coming back and signing that qualifying offer 1 year at $22.5 million. We'll get some Brewers talk into towards the end of the show. So there is news about Kevin Porter Jr. practicing again, getting back to starting to get back to where he wants to be before he comes back out. They're probably still, I'm guessing, a couple of weeks away from playing at this point. And ESPN had a piece up today about different teams and what they're going to need to do at the trade deadline. And as of course, oh my, how are the Bucks going to be able to overcome whatever hole they're in after Giannis is missing for a couple of weeks? That, of course, is part of it. And then they bring up the idea of, hey, look, Kevin Porter Jr. is coming back. A couple years ago, he averaged 19 points. That obviously would be a big shot in the arm if he can stay healthy and give him something along those lines. The question is this: how much can we expect, or how much do you expect the Bucks to improve when Kevin Porter Jr. gets back into this lineup? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. I read this stat to Charlie in our pre-show meeting earlier, and I will read it to you as well, because when Kevin Porter Jr. went out, there was a lot of talk of, oh man, like who's going to pick up the slack for Kevin Porter Jr.? And then remember Ryan Rollins had that big game right away. Everyone's like, oh my God, Ryan Rollins, oh, Kevin Porter Jr. to the bench, whatever's going to happen. How about this? Most 20-plus point games, 20 or more point games this season by a player under 24. Jalen Johnson, Wisconsin native, 10. Von Carroll from the Charlie's Magic team, 9. Wembanyama, you've heard of him, 9. Sengun, who is a beast for the Rockets, 8. Jalen Duren, 8. Keontae George, 7. Josh Giddey, 7. Chad Holmgren, 6. Con Knipple, 6. Wisconsin native. And Ryan Rollins, 6. Makes that list with a host of names that are lottery picks and really good basketball players, Charlie.
Yeah, not just only really good basketball players, but a lot of guys that are offensive focused in that list too, that are just very good at putting the ball in the basket. Ryan Rollins wasn't supposed to be that when they got him in that trade. He was supposed to be a guy that could fill in when guys got injured, basically, and be in the G League otherwise. He's been phenomenal, man. It's been so much fun to watch him. And we talk about this whole idea of not losing your spot to injury and that Kevin Porter Jr. should just slide right back in there. But I also feel like you just can't slide Ryan Rollins out. You have so many options now with that point guard position, more so than I think you had with Damian Lillard there, obviously. And now you have a better plan because you don't have that star there that's always looming.
And Con Knipple, a guy that was on Inside Wisconsin Sports, what was it, earlier this month, last month, became the fastest player in NBA history to reach 50 career threes.
Don't sleep on Wisconsin basketball, man. There's some good hoopers in this state, and I think people are starting to see it.
And the crazy part is neither one of those two guys, Johnson or Knipple, played for the Badgers. Or Marquette, or Green Bay, or
Jalen
Milwaukee.
Johnson doesn't even really identify with Wisconsin that much
I don't
anymore.
care.
Yeah.
I know who you are. I know you
We
were
know where you're
here.
from, yeah.
I know you played here. Like, I don't care if you identify or not. You are from here, dude. But anyway, both those dudes, Wisconsin natives, and Ryan Rollins here. So we start talking about the impact Kevin Porter Jr. is going to have. What does this do to this starting lineup? Because right now, they started playing Kuzma in the lineup with Giannis. Now, obviously, as Giannis is out, but when Giannis comes back, right, are you still going to roll with Kuzma, Giannis, and Turner? Because if that's the case, now you're talking about two guards. That means, follow along, Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, Gary Trent. 2 of those dudes are going to the bench if they think Giannis, Kuzma, and Miles Turner is the way that they want to play going forward.
I just don't know how you can think that. I know Kyle Kuzma has played better than a lot of people have expected, but I think he works better when he's playing opposite Giannis, when they're coming off the bench for each other in situations. And he's kind of filling in that kind of small ball Giannis role where he's a guy who can do some of the things that Giannis can do in a smaller body, in a smaller package to help defend the guards a little bit easier. That's what he's meant for. And I think if you play them at the same time with only two shooters on the court, and Ryan Rollins and a Kevin Porter Jr., if that's your two guard set that you're doing, or Ryan Rollins and AJ Green, or Kevin Porter and AJ Green, whoever it is. If you're doing that, then I think you're severely limiting the shot making in that situation from outside the restricted area. And that's something that I don't think you can afford.
And that's something that, for me, when I look at it, and if I look at Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins, who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the two? Because Gary Trent is not KPJ as far as how he can score the basketball. He's not that guy. AJ Green is not KPJ either. Furthermore, AJ Green, as far as overall skill level of guard position, is not Ryan Rollins. So he doesn't fall into that either. There's a part of me that says, I think I might consider Kevin Porter Jr. being the sixth man and trying to get him the Sixth Man of the Year award and let him go be the offense with Bobby Portis on that second unit. You don't need necessarily that other guy with Giannis to start the game. I think they've been okay from that aspect. You need to make sure you've got a guy in that second unit that can still get points.
Again, like I keep saying, the Pacers and the Thunder made it to a championship last year, not based off having a second star, based off having 4 to 5 other guys that can all potentially be a second star. And if Kevin Porter Jr. coming off the bench gives him more of an opportunity to do that, so be it.
All right, the question is this. How much can we expect the Bucks to improve when Kevin Porter Jr. gets back into this lineup, practicing now with the team? Nikolay Lautonkin, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. On the socials at WI Sports Radio, streaming live on X and on YouTube. You can participate in the Dugout YouTube chat or simply by commenting on the live stream. Also, while you're there, feel free. Follow along at WI Sports Radio. Subscribe as well if you're on YouTube. All of those good options. That way you're always in the mix when we're doing stuff. All right, let's go to Fitness Steve. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Fitness Steve?
Hey, have your Christmas tree up?
Actually, Sunday, we are putting the Christmas trees up. For those of you that don't know, I usually put up 13 or 14 Christmas trees in our house. And we are putting up Christmas trees coming up on Sunday.
Good to you. Hope your family's well. You know me. So I hope everything's going well.
The family has expanded since the last time we've seen you.
I know.
Yeah?
I know about that. Yes. I'll get to the subject. I think, Sparky, they should play both of them. What you would do is play Porter. You play Porter's bigger than Rollins, so you can flip them. They can both be point guard. But you take the bigger one against a better defender, and you just play both of them. I would play both of them at the same time.
All right, so let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about it, Steve. So if you play Rollins and KPJ in the backcourt, now what are you doing with that second unit as far as substitution pattern goes? Because your first big off the bench is Bobby Portis, right? So what do you do with the guards?
Okay, now you heard of the Wisconsin signed Victor
Oladipo, yeah.
And they also signed Smith.
Yes.
Who's ready to go. I think I might see you would know this better than me, Sparky. When can the Bucks, after they signed all these players, when can they start making their first trade in December?
Right now, December 15th is for, I believe there's 8 or 9 guys on this roster. They can trade before December 15th. And because they signed AJ Green to an extension, I don't believe they can trade him, period.
Oh, they can't trade him? I was thinking they may trade him because you can match something. They need what I was thinking of is putting Kuzma back at 2, try to trade one of these other guys and get a backup center. I'm not worried about the guards. The guards are going to be fine.
You're not a big Jericho Sims guy?
No, I am not a big Jericho Sims. I would let Sims go. I let Trent go. I let Green go. I do whatever I could to get rid of them. Those I've seen a lot of games, and I'm telling you, I'm not impressed with Sims. They need help in the secondary. Kuzma's going to help them out in the background, the second team, I should say. And they'll be all right. I mean, they're gonna lose some games now with him out, but I think Porter. I'm really impressed with Porter. I think he will really really, really, really make the Bucks look better. He's faster. He's quicker. He knows how to take it to the hoop. And I like the alley-oop that he does to Giannis. So,
well, and he can create his own shot, more importantly. Thanks for the call. And that's the one thing, too, that people forget about. For years on this Bucks team, they had Giannis, and then Middleton could create his own shot, or Lillard could create his own shot. But for a long time, they struggled with guys that actually could get their own shot. You had to get them the ball in an open look more than them beating their guy one-on-one to get to the rim or create space to get their own shot. Now, with KPJ coming back, you've got a guy that can create space. I don't care who's on him. He'll figure out a way to have a decent look at the ball, at the basket. Now, sometimes he gets a little wild. Okay. That's what comes with him. That's part of the deal. You knew that going in. So you can't get mad when he throws up some wild, crazy Hail Mary shots, because sometimes he'll make it. But that's what comes with him. So how much does it change the Bucks? I think it improves the Bucks greatly at this point. If you have two guards that are capable of dropping 20 in a night between Rollins and KPJ to go along with Giannis, to go along with Miles Turner's 15 or whatever he's going to give you a night.
Gary Trent, at least 12 a night. That helps you out a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll call Gary Trent 12. Yeah. And then what are you going to call AJ Green?
Hopefully 8, at this point.
$9 million a year. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Nicolay Law Talk, text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Also can stream us at wisportsradio.com, wisportsradio.com. Doug and Racine, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Doug?
Hey, guys. Porter, I'll wait and see on that, see if he can actually make a few shots now. I'm not buying it, but I'm ready for Kuzma to rock and roll. I talked to you last week about him being Middleton, man. I'm ready for that show to start.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, it starts tonight against Philadelphia, right? Kuzma comes out tonight. If Kuzma comes out tonight and is missing in action, every game going forward now, everybody's going to expect him to go be that guy. And we talked about it yesterday. Like, if you're Doc, you go up to Kuzma and go, you and Rollins are going to carry this offense. You guys need to hunt your shots at this point. You tell him that, or do you not say anything to anybody and just see how it goes?
I don't know. I tell him that, and then you see how Porter mixes in with that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. We'll see what happens.
We will. Thanks for the call, Doug. For me, if I'm Doc going into this, now again, they had their practice yesterday, so who knows what he said. If it's me, I'm going to Kuzma and I'm going to Rollins and going, you all need to give me 10 to 15 shots every night while Giannis is out. Let's see what you got, man. And if it all looks good and you all are playing at a high level and scoring the basketball consistently every night, I will adjust and change this offense a little bit when Giannis comes back to make sure we consistently continue to get you shots. Here's your opportunity. Let's see what you can do with it over the next couple of weeks. That's how I'd approach it with Doc. I don't like the idea of, well, just take your shots in the flow of the offense. The hell with that. I want you to be aggressive and show me that you deserve more shots.
I said it yesterday when we heard Steve Kerr talk about the limit of practice that they get right now. These games without Giannis, I think you kind of have to go out there and expect that they're going to be tough. You're probably going to lose a couple of them at least. Use it as a practice. Go out there and ball out and just show what you can do for when Giannis does come back and these games matter a little more.
Exactly right. Coming up next, we'll get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. We were talking about the Bucks game tonight against the Sixers, 7 o'clock tip. Hey, want to hit up the Potawatomi Sportsbook? I love me. I was looking at a night that we did earlier in the football season where Mason Crosby and I, and you can catch him, obviously, weekdays noon to 2 with Mitch Thunder Nellis and Tommy Wirtz. We were doing trivia, Packers trivia, during day 2 of the NFL draft down there. And he was signing pictures, and we had all kinds of different fun giveaways and all of that stuff. It was so much fun. And they got that 2,000 square foot screen that's got, you can see over 30 different sporting events, the sportsbook kitchen, 48 beers on tap, homemade pastries and desserts every day, all day brunch, the John Kuhn platter. Everything is delicious over there. So again, Potawatomi Sportsbook, it's the place to be. Anyways, I got sidetracked. Want to hit the Potawatomi Sportsbook before the Bucks home game tonight, but need a ride to the game? A slam dunk by hitching a ride on a Potawatomi game day shuttle. Just make a bet at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle to Fiserv Forum. Folks, it's free to park in that parking garage. It's free. After your purchase or bet, a wristband will be given to you at the bar or betting counter upon request. You'll need the wristband to board the Potawatomi shuttles. The shuttles begin departing 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, with return shuttles starting at the beginning of the third quarter and will run nonstop until an hour after the game. Why drive downtown and pay for parking when you can ride the shuttle? For more, visit Potawatomi.com. Little background, they started running these shuttles during the Brewer season, second half of the Brewer season, and they didn't know, people were going to want to do it or not, one way or the other. And Charlie, it exploded.
Oh yeah, it seemed like
people were all about riding that shuttle once they did it.
Why not? It's the easiest way to get to and from the game.
Correct. And it makes all the sense in the world to obviously do that and be a part of that. So again, Potawatomi Sportsbook, go hang out, maybe make a couple of bets on that game tonight or something else. Hop on the shuttle and away you go, and you're all set. Coming up next, Charlie Sounds of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
AKA Thunder.
Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sparky here, Charlie Houston over there. Some breaking news came into my email just now on the Lakers. I don't know if y'all saw this on social media. Jeannie Buss, who has run that team since her dad passed away, fired both of her brothers today. Get out. You're done. Got to be kidding me. I mean, that's cold-hearted stuff right there.
If they're not doing their job, they're not doing their job.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Well, I think it's like every older sister's dream to fire her little brother.
You think so?
I think that's the other thing too, yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah, I mean, again, if they're not doing their job, they're not doing their job. They still have ownership, and I think they still have their minority ownership stakes, so they still got that.
That's crazy, man. Firing both your brothers. And they aren't even surprised. They're like, yeah, she's fired everybody. That's the response they had. Yeah, she fires everybody. Goodness gracious. All right, let's move.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, Charlie, using top 3 clips. What we got?
All right, first up, we're going to head over to Run It Back, a podcast we heard from yesterday, our TV show actually now. Chandler Parsons, Michelle Beatles, Lou Williams. They were talking with former Milwaukee Buck Larry Sanders.
Oh,
I don't know where they dug him up from. Yeah. They were talking with Bobby Portis yesterday, but they brought up this question with him about Giannis's foul situation, another big story happening right now for the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think it's a difficult job for the referees, when you have guys who you have that much talent and that much size. Playing with LeBron in Cleveland, playing against him, I was like, oh, he cries a lot. And then playing with him, I'm like, he gets no calls because he's so strong and dominant. And I think Giannis is the same way. He's like, if they called every foul, it would slow the game down tremendously.
Yeah, and that's why they don't call every single foul. Which, again, if you're a guy like Larry Sanders, that's benefit you. Because you can get overly aggressive with these cats coming inside, and they're going to blow it once every, 5 or 6 times you hit this cat. They're going to blow it maybe one time, unless you're a troublemaker and they're looking for you. Then they're going to blow it right away. And that's essentially what happened to Larry Sanders by the time he was done in the NBA. They wanted him out of the game, and they were trying to get him out of the game as soon as possible, which sucked for Larry Sanders, but that's what it appeared to me. All right, clip number 2.
Next up, we're going to head over to Fair Territory, the sister show of Foul Territory, hosted by Ken Rosenthal, and he was discussing the Brewers going after Josh Young, maybe a former top prospect for the Texas Rangers.
Young fan, when he was, I like the idea, and I am a Josh Young fan. When he was first coming into the league, he made a huge impact, and then for whatever reason, it has not continued there. And I don't know what the problem is there in Texas with Young and why they seem to have soured on him a little bit and why he's gone backwards. And it seems to me, we talked about Grayson Rodriguez as a change of scenery guy. Josh Young might be the same type. And yes, for Milwaukee, relatively low salary, it would be the kind of addition that they probably should be looking at. Yes.
Okay, so now that you did this, now I got to look up Josh Young and see what his contract deals look like for the Brewers, because that obviously is part of this. Josh Young, stats-wise, last year for the Rangers, 251, 294 on base. That's awful. 390 slugging. That's awful because he's a third baseman. 14 homers, 61 RBIs. But if you go back 2 years, he was an all-star in 23 at the age of 25. 23 homers, 70 RBIs, but he strikes out a ton. Like last year, 129 to 27 walks. In his all-star year, 151 strikeouts to 30 walks. He had 266 in 23, 315 on base, 467 slugging. If he hits you 266 and hits 25 to 30 home runs at American Family Field, yeah, I'd do that. I don't know what it would cost, but yeah, I'd be interested in that. And then if you look at Josh Young's numbers overall, man, he doesn't go into his first year of arbitration until 26.
That'd be a pretty good deal if you can figure out to pull that off. And yeah, he may strike out a lot. So did Andrew Vaughn. The Brewers figured that out pretty quick how to deal with him. I think this could be a similar situation if you were to bring in a guy like Josh Young.
Yeah, I would definitely do it. Yeah, I would definitely be interested in that. I don't know how big of a deal it would cost or what it would cost. He's not a big cat. He's like 6'1", 214, but I'd do it. Yeah, I'm interested for that being a third baseman. All right, what else you got?
All right, and last up here, we're going to hear from Jeff Saturday discussing Cam Scatabo and his stunt at WWE the other night.
I don't love it. And again, I love Scatterbo as a player. I think it's unbelievable. I think the risk reward in this situation probably wasn't well thought out. Whether you like it or not, he did get pushed pretty hard. And there's 4 dudes around you. Somebody falls into that same leg, right? Like we're a couple weeks out of a serious injury. And like, I understand it's scripted. I understand all those things. There's still a risk reward situation that's not probably in the best mindset, right? Like at some point, you're 2-8. Dart's hurt. You're hurt. Malik Neighbors is hurt. Everybody's going to build the Giants around these 3 guys. We don't want you, if something did happen, right? God forbid. It didn't, thank God. But if it did, then you're looking back going, our team leader or our motivational leader, whatever you want to call Scatterbo, is down longer.
Oh, stop. Don't overthink it. Good God. Coming up next, our Green and Gold update, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Jeff Saturday sucked on the Packers, by the way.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again, 4 o'clock hour. Sparky with you. Charlie Usen over there, other side of the glass, on location tomorrow. Stuff the Bus with our sister station here in Milwaukee, WMYX. They do it every year. They've done it for, 30 years, whatever it's been, a long time. And they get people to donate online. They get people to buy groceries and so forth at the different Kroger markets in the area where they're set up. I'm at the Metro Market in Wauwatosa tomorrow from 2 until 5. They have prepackaged bags that are like $5, or you can come in there and buy a whole bunch of groceries yourself, and they'll put it on the bus. And the goal is to fill as many, buses as we possibly can throughout the day from morning to night. So looking forward to seeing whoever can make it out there in the area to come out and potentially stuff the bus tomorrow 2 to 5. It is a football Friday, so we'll have Fantasy Football Friday at 4:20, as always, with Joe Bartel of RotoWire Fantasy Sports. So we'll do Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette, Packers beat writer. He'll join us at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So lots and lots to get to on a Friday show tomorrow as we get ready for Packers and Vikings. We'll have the Green Bay Football postgame show powered by Lakeland University. I am taking the Friday off to complete transparency to put up Christmas trees. And Charlie Usen is nice enough to work with Tommy Wirtz, and they will be doing the show on Sunday after Green Bay and Minnesota is over. They'll be on 3 to 5 on Sunday.
Maybe a little bit more of a positive presence with me on there instead of you, Sparky. You guys are.
Let me tell you something.
I think you feed into Tommy's negativity.
You clearly have not listened to the postgame show.
I think you feed Tommy's negativity.
That postgame show, I am clearly rainbows and sunshine compared to the thunderstorm and lightning and hailstorm that Wirtz brings on a week-to-week basis. I am sunshine and rainbows on that show.
You're probably more like a thunderstorm compared to Tommy's hurricane. I think that's more how it should be. Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
and I can bring Tommy back to a thunderstorm. I think I can do that.
You better bring alcohol. All right, time now to get to this right here.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
More Packet Talk for you, like we do each and every day at 4 o'clock. Matt LaFleur, he talks most days of the week. I think Tuesdays are the one day that he doesn't normally talk on a given week, which is fine. Everybody should have a day off. Baseball managers, they rarely get a day off. They got to talk before games. They got to talk after games. Like, it gets old really quick when you're a baseball manager having to talk to the same people day in and day out. You literally talk to beat writers probably more than you talk to your own family throughout the course of a baseball season, right?
Which is just insane how happy Pat Murphy was throughout the entire season talking to the same guys. I'm
telling you right now, they should not have to talk both times.
No,
they shouldn't. And I'm all about the leadoff, show that we do, and you'll hear on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network next baseball season with Tommy Wirtz. I'm all about hearing Murphy before the game, but realistically, they should only have to talk after games. I don't understand this whole pregame thing.
Or have him talk before or after a game, and then what the assistant managers that we talk about all the time can talk in the opposite spot.
He eliminated that position. The bench coach no longer exists in Milwaukee. Well, he got rid of it.
Brandon Woodruff or Christian Yelich, whenever they're hurt, can be the person who talks after these games.
Yeah, right. Matt LaFleur, however, does talk throughout the week, and Matt LaFleur got into talking about, playing all three division rivals back to back. Check this out.
Obviously, the divisional games are absolutely critical, and you talk about this 3-game stretch, but really all that matters is this one game. And for us right now, we just got to focus on what's right in front of us, and that's to try to put together the best plan to go out and play a team that I think is a extremely tough football team. And they put it on us twice last year. So our guys will be motivated. They'll be ready to roll, but we got to put in the work and have a great week of practice. in order to, because we know this game it's going to come down to a couple plays. That's how most of the games are in this league. And I've got a lot of respect for those guys over in Minnesota. I think they got a great roster. I think they got a great coaching staff. So it should be a great football game. Hopefully our fans will show up in droves and not sell their tickets to the Vikings fans, because we've seen that happen before too.
Now, I'm not quite sure why, but I'm going to open up the Nicolay Law talking text line. Why are people bothered by when he talks about fans selling their tickets? Why does it bother you so much? I really need to understand why people get so worked up about it, right? How much does it bother you when Matt LaFleur talks about which fans show up to a game at Lambeau Field? Because he's done it consistently this season, more so than other seasons. Like, he is a man on a mission trying to convince Packer fans not to sell their tickets. Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Sparky with you, Charlie Houston over there as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I don't understand why it bothers people. My perspective is this. Man, if he convinces two people that listen to that on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, or saw it on Packers.com, or on social media when it was live streaming, or a radio show somewhere else in the state that played it, or on the news of a local TV station, if he convinced two people not to do it, that's a win for the Packers. That's a win for the team of 4, 6, 8 less people. They're going to be wearing that god-awful purple, ugly Vikings uniform, going and sitting in the stands at the stadium. I'm all for it. I'm all for chastising fans for selling their tickets. Now, can you expect 100% that nobody's going to sell them? No. Hey, man, I'm not going to tell somebody who might be going through a tough time financially or otherwise that needs some money for Christmas or whatever to not sell their tickets when they can triple the amount of money they paid for them because somebody wants to overpay to say they went to Lambeau Field. That is a huge distinction, right? If you go to a Bengals game, who cares about that stadium? If you go to Cleveland, who cares about that stadium? Down in Chicago, it used to be something. Now it's an ashtray, space shuttle, whatever you want to call it.
Concrete box.
Yeah, nobody cares about going to that stadium. But this is like going to Fenway or going to that. I used to call it a dump. It's no longer a dump. Or going to Wrigley, right? It's like that now. It's a big deal. So you can make more money on the open market with a third party if you go on StubHub or whatever the case may be to try and sell these tickets. I'm not going to chastise you because, again, you can get triple the money and now you got a little wiggle room to buy some extra Christmas presents or whatever. I can get mad at you for that. Now, there are those that don't even live in this state that sell all of their tickets because they got the tickets and then their family up and moved and they don't want to give them back because they may move back when they retire, or their kids may want to have them if they go to college at Wisconsin. Maybe they want to go to some games. So I'm going to hold on to them forever. But in the meantime, I have nobody to give them to in Green Bay or in Wisconsin. So I'm going to sell all of them online and make my money while I live in another state somewhere else, or maybe even another country at this point. Now, those people you can get mad at and so forth. But again, if you sit on a waiting list for 20 years, for 30 years, for 40 years, and you finally get your hands on those tickets and you can't go, you're going to tell me you're going to look that person in the face and go, eat the money, eat it. Come on, man. That's not real. That's just not real. Most fans aren't just going to eat it. If a company owns the seats, they may eat it. Back in the day when the Brewers were at County Stadium, man, I tell you, there were stacks of tickets sitting in CEOs and general manager desks of Brewers tickets that they bought and they couldn't get rid of them. Employees didn't want to go. Nobody the employees knew wanted to go. And they were just getting thrown out every day because nobody wanted to go. Well, that's never going to be the case for the Green Bay Packers at this point. How much does it bother you when Matt LaFleur talks about which fans show up to a game at Lambeau? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. What say you, Charlie?
So far this season, it seemed like the fan base being there for the Green Bay Packers has made an impact on the way they play on the field. And I don't know if that's the case every year. I don't know if that's the case for every team, but it felt like when I went to the Eagles-Packers game on Monday Night Football, there was a lot of Eagles fans there, and you could kind of feel the energy in the stadium leaning more towards maybe not the Eagles, but more of a mid-ground. You could hear fans cheering for both sides extremely loud the entire time. And I think it does play an effect on the players on the field. It's something that you don't expect in your home stadium. I think Matt LaFleur going out here and saying, you know what, we want it all to be green and gold. We don't want to see the purple in the stands. We don't want to hear the purple in the stands. It's more him just saying, you know what, this is part of our strategy is our guys feel good when the fans are feeling good and vice versa. And that this is a way we can have the symbiotic relationship and get you guys out here. And if the Packers really cared about this, then offer a buyback program for these tickets too. If you want to be the one selling the tickets, if you want to try to find a way to get Packers fans these tickets more so,
you give them back the same money they paid for them.
Right. Buy back the tickets, and then more people for the Packers are going to be willing to buy the tickets from the Packers.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's actually pretty smart because then you can open it up to the fan base that actually wants to go. If you think about it, how many fans want or wanted to at some point to go see Aaron Rodgers play or wanted to go see Brett Favre play? But a lot of times you couldn't find tickets online for face value by any stretch of the imagination. And then it's like, I don't want to pay 2 or 3 times the amount of money that what face value is. I can't afford to do that. But never got to see Brett play or never got to see Aaron play. Now, if you follow a bad team like the Bears for so long, you never have that problem. You always got ability to go see the Bears, right? And if you were a Packers fan and want to see Brett, you could suffer, go down to Chicago and watch Brett play the Bears because tickets were a lot cheaper because they weren't any good. Or Rodgers, same thing there. But when you have a really good team and a legendary stadium to go along with it, which means the road fan base wants tickets to your game and make a trip and make it a whole thing, that changes things. Ken in Green Bay, listening on WNFL 99.7 FM. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Ken?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, the only problem, I don't have a problem people selling tickets. The only problem the Milwaukee crowd tickets on a Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night games when majority of those people don't want to make the trip up to Green Bay, spend the night or drive back in the middle of the night, half drunk or whatever. So those are the tickets that are sold en masse. You go to those games, it's nothing but opposing fans. If those fans are, in the proximity of either driving or flying in real cheap. But I don't have a problem with the overall ticket selling. It's just those nights should be given to the green ticket holders, not the gold.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't. If they wanted to make that rule, Ken, I'd be completely fine with it. Thanks for the call. That's fine.
I took 2 days off of work because I had to stay up in Green Bay on a night like that when I had to go to the Eagles game.
But his point is that doesn't happen.
No,
a lot of people don't want it,
and
especially if it's a bad team they're playing.
I didn't really want to do that much. That was something more that I wanted to go have fun with my friends at the game. But
there were a ton of Eagles fans. A ton of Eagles fans, right?
Because if you're going to make the trip to Green Bay, you might as well make it a trip. And you might as well stay, and you might as well get the tickets. It matters, or I guess it means a lot more to those people that don't have the opportunity to go to Green Bay as often as even people in Milwaukee.
That Milwaukee package only happened because when County Stadium went away, then they didn't want to lose that whole section of fans or whatever the case was from Milwaukee, because Milwaukee was a big piece of their fan base from their perspective because of how many people there are down in southeastern Wisconsin. So they didn't want to lose it. So all those people got grandfathered into this new ticket package to get their 3 games and 1 preseason game or whatever it is. And that's been going on for a long time. I don't know if they'll ever get rid of it. But if somebody's going to get rid of it, would it surprise me if it was that policy? What it shocked me, not all that much. And Ed Posey said, you know what, enough is enough. Like, we're just getting rid of these. That was 100 years ago. Like, we're done. All those people that were going to those games are old and retired and not even making the trip anymore. And now we're giving them to kids and everybody else. I think there would be a problem if you stripped all of those people. That's a lot of tickets to strip and then put them back out and go, oh, you can get tickets, but you have to reapply and get back in line. It would be anarchy. if they did that.
Well, and those games, yeah, they're a pain in the butt to go to Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night.
Right.
Those are also the primetime games. Those are also going to be the best games of the season. I want that opportunity to still be able to go to that, even if I'm in Milwaukee. I feel like you should have the option at least.
Let's go to Justin in Watertown. You'll be the last one on this topic on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's up, Justin?
Hey, Sparky, how you doing today?
Good.
So, I don't have a problem with them selling tickets either. If I had season tickets, which I don't, I would probably have a hard time not selling tickets to try to make a profit. The thing I was thinking about was the Packers need to be more proactive in this. This is a concern that they have. With FIFA, with all these tickets that they're selling, they have their own resale area where people can resell FIFA tickets. And FIFA's making bank off of it, by the way, if you take a look at those numbers.
Really?
So why don't the Packers create a system where if you're a gold package ticket holder and you can't go to the game, open it up to a program somewhere where they create where you can sell to green ticket holders who can't go to that game. Maybe they'll pay a little extra to go to this game because they normally don't have access to it. Do something where they then control who comes in and out of that window to make sure that if they're worried about Packer fans, first priority is Packer fans. If no one buys it there, then I'm going to go to StubHub.
I love it.
Something along those lines.
I like the idea. I love the idea of having the idea where maybe you could swap tickets from one game to another, right? So if Charlie has tickets to a Sunday, I've got tickets to a Monday night. And Charlie's like, I'll take those Monday night tickets. You can have my Sunday noon game. Done. That's easier for me coming from southeastern Wisconsin. And you just swap those tickets for that game. That makes sense. And again, to your point, sell it to people that are Packer fans that are already season ticket holders and kind of keep it in the family. I'm 1,000% on board with that one. Thanks for the call, Justin.
Well, and even in that situation, you could be like, you know what, my noon game is against the Browns. Your Monday night game is against the Eagles. You willing to throw like an extra $20 on top of that to go to the Eagles
Negotiate
game
your deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Negotiate your deal. Coming up next, Eye on the Enemy Time. Vikings beat writer from The Athletic, Alec Lewis, joins us on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And don't forget, Sports Talk on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Thanks to all the affiliates for tuning in today. 99.7 FM in Green Bay and Appleton on WNFL. Wausau, 93.9 The Game. Duluth, Superior area, 710 The Game. And in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. He is Vikings beat writer from The Athletic, Alec Lewis. Follow him on X at Alec_Lewis. Alec, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Going to be in Appleton in a couple days' time. Looking forward to it. Need a restaurant recommendation for anybody listening. That'd be great.
Ooh, very good. I like it. Charlie was just in Appleton doing his thing as well.
I was trying to think of, I think it's Honey Maple Cafe. It's got pancakes that were delicious. So great breakfast place if you like breakfast. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Very good. I'm a big Victoria's Italian restaurant guy myself. Okay, Alec, let's get to it from the Viking standpoint. Last night, knowing you were coming on, I started reading up a bunch of Viking stuff. Man, I mean, to say people are mad at J.J. McCarthy, I think that's an understatement. I read one hit piece after another hit piece. People going after J.J. McCarthy. This dude hasn't even completed a full season as a starting quarterback in Minnesota yet. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, I would say hopefully my stories didn't read like hit pieces.
No.
J.J. McCarthy's 5 starts into his NFL career, and it's been rocky. His first season obviously was ended because he tore his meniscus last year in the preseason game. And then this year, 2 games in, he suffered a high ankle sprain that forced him to miss 5 games. So that, all of that, the inexperience, the injuries has played a role in the performance, and the performance has earned the ire of fans because you're coming off a team that won 14 games that is paying $344 million in cash on its roster, which is the most in the NFL. And this is a franchise that in 15 years has only made the playoffs twice, or won playoffs, not made the playoffs twice, has won playoff games twice in 15 years. And so, I just think there's a major desperation vibe within the fan base to first find its quarterback that it's long wanted for, to be the guy for the future. And then second, to see a team win in the playoffs. And those two things mixed with the world and the environment that we live in, where everybody wants everything right now and expects it to happen right now. All of that is in many ways a perfect storm for the negativity and the lose your minds type of reactions that I think you've seen through 10 games here.
A lot of people mad and saying the only reason Justin Jefferson's numbers are down is because of J.J. McCarthy. It's all his fault. Now, we know A.J. Brown, when he's mad, he just talks in Philadelphia. He don't care whose feelings he hurt. He just talks. Justin Jefferson doesn't appear to be that guy at this point, but I would have to imagine there's some frustration.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, Justin Jefferson's averages are essentially half, from a yardage perspective, especially half of what they've been for pretty much his whole career. And though the Vikings have done a lot of quarterback shuffling during his time here, from Kirk Cousins to Sam Darnold to Kirk Cousins, there was Josh Dobbs, even Nick Mullins. I mean, the production, Carson Wentz earlier this year, when Carson was in, the production looked like it's been since he's been a Minnesota Vikings receiver. So the fact that it is such a stark difference from what it has been throughout his career is definitely frustrating. But he is a guy who, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for the way he's managed this whole situation. He's a captain for this team. He takes that seriously. He's very aware and understanding of, team building, of circumstances, of what the Vikings have wanted to do. He likes J.J. McCarthy in terms of J.J.'s work ethic and how much J.J. wants it and the energy that J.J. brings. So, you give him credit for the way he's handled it, but I'd say it is his ethos to kind of give everything he's got, to be the leader, and he hasn't drifted from that. And the Vikings are really lucky and fortunate that that's the case, because it could be a whole lot more messy or mayhem or just hectic if he were to go the route that a lot of these superstar receivers can go.
Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer for The Athletic. Follow him on X at Alec_Lewis, joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What about Kevin O'Connell as far as what he was calling for Sam Darnold versus what they're doing with J.J. McCarthy. Has the offense changed much? And if so, in what direction?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in a lot of ways, it's just more watered down. They're not targeting the middle of the field as frequently as they were last year, and then they're not launching it deep. I mean, last year's Sam Darnold offense was, I'd equate it to like it was a home run strikeout offense. It was Sam Darnold airing it out, and then, there were interceptions to be had, but you live with the turnover-worthy plays when you had the amount of big-time throws that Sam Darnold was making. I mean, this offense is much more, quick outs to the sideline, wide open runaways down the field when they can create them, and then screens in the run game. And I'd say the run game has been a point of conversation here locally, where a lot of people, I think fans specifically, have wanted them to run the football more for reasons that make sense. It takes the load off the quarterback, and they've run the football fairly effectively when they have. So I expect this weekend in this game, specifically with how the Packers defend the run, like I would be pretty surprised if they don't do everything they can to try to get that going, to alleviate J.J. McCarthy from being in third and long situations against a defense that can make those very uncomfortable and unfriendly.
The other part about this is when we talk about, and we were talking about this earlier, about the Packers offensive line, reading and looking at some of these numbers from Pro Football Focus, Sports Info Solutions, ESPN, and you start putting it all together, and the Packers have like the 7th best offensive line in football. And Charlie, my producer, and I are like, based on what? Like using the eye test, we're like, there's no chance. Like, how bad are offensive lines in football? But this Vikings offensive line, they graded out pretty good too. How good have they been protecting McCarthy?
Yeah, I'm not going to go on a crazy tangent here with this, but I'm a big analytics guy. I'm a big numbers guy. But the more I cover this league and look at a lot of these numbers, the more I just think so often they require such context of the opposition, context of downs and distances. And so we get caught up with these win rate metrics and pressure rate metrics and all this stuff, but those do not account for a lot of the factors that really bring you to the truth. And so that's why the film is of the utmost importance. Anyway, as far as the offensive line, I'd say it's been wild to see the Vikings manage the amount of injuries and machinations that they've had on that front. Like there was a stretch when the Vikings had the 2-game stint in Europe where, I mean, there were like 3 of the 5 offensive linemen were third-string players. So they've had to navigate a lot. But this weekend could be the first time this season, like the first game of the entire season, that the Vikings have the 5 guys that they originally planned to have prior to the season. That is Christian Darrisaw, left tackle, Donovan Jackson, the rookie left guard.
Darrisaw didn't practice today either.
He didn't, but he's been taking Thursdays this entire season, coming back from the knee. Ryan Kelly is expected to be back from what was, I believe, his 4th or 5th documented concussion at center. Then you got Will Fries at right guard and Brian O'Neill at right tackle. And that group is pretty dang formidable. But they had, I mean, you guys know this, specifically in passing downs, and they're going to have their work cut out for them. So that challenge and that test is going to be a huge aspect of this game, no doubt.
The other part of this from a Packers standpoint is trying to get this run established and be more like it was last year. And they really have struggled getting the running game going, in large part not because Josh Jacobs isn't as good, but because they just aren't opening the holes like they've had in years past with this Packers offensive line. What about Minnesota? How has that looked with Aaron Jones?
Yeah, I'd say, the Vikings have run the ball. When they run it, they've been pretty efficient. Like, it's not the most explosive. They've actually been fairly explosive on the ground. But it's been a good run game. Aaron Jones, he had a hamstring injury, was on IR, right, and then came back in Detroit a few weeks ago and looked like the Aaron Jones that everybody listening to this in Wisconsin knows very well. I mean, the juice has been there. He's been great out of the passing game. His energy is as great as it always is. And then they've paired him with Jordan Mason, who is this bigger-bodied back who thrives with his vision and decision-making. And so, like, the run game has been good. And the Packers are going to have, like, whether it's Colby Wooden or Devontae Wyatt or Isaiah McDuffie and Edgerrin Cooper coming downhill, like those guys are going to have to prove it, stopping the ground game, or else the Vikings will be in this fight, no question.
What about on the defensive side of the ball, Alec Lewis? What does that defense provide as a challenge for this Packers offense where you're like, okay, this is where the Vikings defense is going to have an upper hand coming up on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, the front, you really start with the front. If Jonathan Grenard plays, he's been by far, without question, the Vikings' best pass rusher, and he is a problem. I mean, he's applied quick pressures, as I'm talking about pressure rate after just ripping on it. He is ranked very highly in that regard as a great pass rusher. And then the rest of the front can cause problems. Jalen Redmond is this unknown-ish defensive tackle who wears the jersey number 61, who can really cause problems. And then Andrew Van Ginkel on the front is, he will really he can wreck the game if you don't, pay attention to him with how much he anticipates things on the field. I was looking earlier today, like Jordan Love has not had a ton of success against Brian Flores the past couple seasons. So for me, I'll be very curious if Brian Flores is letting it rip with the blitz, if he's hanging back and trying to rush with 4. And if the Packers are in long downs and distances on third down, it probably is going to be a struggle for them too. So I mean, this feels to me like a run game, penalties, turnover margin. Like, you show me those stats after the game, I probably would have a good feel.
I would, if I was Brian Flores, based on what we've seen out of the Packers this year, I'd rush 4, drop everybody back, and see if Jordan Love has the patience to dink and dunk it down the field. That would be my advice. And then on third down and long, then obviously, blitz and make a quick throw. I think that's how I would attack it, because that's the one area where I think Jordan Love's aggressive nature, he wants to take those chunk shots. He wants to take those big plays. And if you take those big plays away from him and he's got to dink and dunk the whole way down the field for 4 quarters, like that I think is a big challenge at this point for Jordan Love.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like that's kind of part of the quarterback progression for a lot of these guys. I mean, I remember that being the conversation for Patrick Mahomes after they lost Tyreek Hill, and then he thrives in finding the dink and dunk. Same with Josh Allen. Like, it's like, oh, he's forcing turnovers all the time. I will say this, and I haven't watched Jordan Love's every snap on film this year, but when I have watched him, like, I think this guy is unbelievably impressive. Like, I really do. His subtle pocket movements, his accuracy, his arm talent, I really think like a lot is there for it to be extremely successful, like, into the future. So that's just my opinion, and maybe I'll look like an idiot on Sunday. And I know, like, a lot of people have their opinions with Jordan Love, but I think a lot of the bones of what the best need to do and can do, like, I feel like he has it. So I enjoy watching him. I'm looking forward to it on Sunday.
I'm looking forward to see what happens on Sunday as well. And as always, when we eye up the enemy with a opposing person that covers the opposing team, we need a prediction.
Yeah, I think we do a preview at The Athletic. I think I had 27-17 Packers. Until JJ McCarthy proves and provides evidence that the inconsistencies that have been there, like, he weeds those out, it's just, quarterback is too predictive of performance in this league for me to pick the Vikings. And I think the Packers secondary is disruptive and flies around. And if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, like, I think Emmanuel Wilson's a pretty good back. So that's where I am. 10-point victory. Did you randomly pick 27, or did you do your homework and see all the times they've won scoring 27 this year? I did not. It was random, but I did rewatch the Giants game, and it was 27-20. So and it was funny rewatching that game. It's like, there were some third down conversions from the Giants that really kept drives along. There were some dropped interceptions. There were dropped passes. Like, if you look at that score, you're like, man, that was, Packers shouldn't be that close to the Giants. It could have been much worse. Here, week 1, they beat the Lions 27-13. Week 2, they won 27-18 against the Commanders. Their next win was against the Bengals in week 6, 27-18. Their next win in Arizona, 27-23. Their next win in Pittsburgh, they really overshot, 35-25. And then this last week, 27-20. Yeah, I'll take it.
27,
I
man.
promise. I promise that wasn't planned.
You're
but
gonna look like a
guess
Swami.
Yeah. I'm that'll do me a lot, and I mean the amount of cookies I'll get for that will be great.
Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer at The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter at Alec_Lewis. Ask him what kind of cookies he wants. In case he hits it, we can send him some cookies. Alex, thank you so much.
Appleton Restaurant reservation at Alec_Lewis. I'm looking forward to him. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Take care. There he is, Alec_Lewis on X. I like Victoria's. It's been a minute since I've been there, but that was a good Italian restaurant back in the day when I used to go up in those neck of the woods. He joined us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Bucks and Sixers tonight at Fiserv Forum, 7:00 tip there. You know me, I love me some Potawatomi Sportsbook, and they've got shuttles now, game day shuttles before Bucks home games as well. So if you need a ride to the game and you want to go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, slam dunk. All you got to do is hitch a ride on the Potawatomi Game Day shuttle. Make a bet at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch a shuttle to Fiserv Forum. After your purchase or bet, a wristband will be given to you at the bar or betting counter upon request. You'll need the wristband to board the Potawatomi shuttles. The shuttles begin departing 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, with return shuttles starting at the beginning of the third quarter and will run nonstop until an hour after the game. Why drive downtown and pay for parking when you can ride the shuttle? For more information, visit Potawatomi.com. Things Sparky missed coming up next, and a pickleball story that'll blow your mind. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Hope you all are doing good here on a Thursday. Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up comes up here at 5 o'clock. Definitely are not going to want to miss that. Not going to want to miss when the Bucks win. You win at Wendy's. Bucks Sixers tonight. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win. So act fast. Get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. Game 1 tonight of a week or 2 week stretch here without Giannis. So we'll see how the Bucks do tonight. 7 o'clock tip down there at Fiserv Forum. With that being said, let's go do this.
What story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now. Don't miss Milwaukee Admirals hockey this season. Don't just buy tickets. Invest in memories at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.
All right, I got to tell you, I saw this story on Twitter. Real quickly, I was like, oh, this has to be like an Onion story, right? Some type of fake story.
They've been real active lately, too.
The Onion has? Yeah. So I was like, it's got to be a fake story. This can't be real. So then I'm like checking the source. I'm like, no, man, this is a real TV station in California. Like, this is legit. Man, there is a town in California that is going to permanently ban pickleball from their city.
What is this, Footloose?
Carmel, California is preparing to implement what could be California's first permanent ban on pickleball. The ban stems from years of noise complaints by residents near Forest Hill Park, located in the center of the ultra-wealthy coastal hamlet south of Monterey. In response to these complaints, the city council decided to impose a temporary ban on the sport at public courts. However, the temporary move appears to be moving towards a permanent ban. While other cities have considered restricting pickleball hours and bans, there are no records of any other California city completely banning the ultra-popular sport, meaning if and when Carmel's decision takes effect, it could be the first full ban actually implemented in a California city. You got to be kidding me. People complain about living next to a stadium, right? Like, if you live next to Lambeau, okay, people are all up in arms. It's too loud. You knew that when you moved in, man. You need to stop. This thing here, pickleball, like, how raucous does a pickleball match get in California?
Aren't there other things to like worry about in life than people playing pickleball a little too loud and a little too late? Like, come on.
That's crazy.
Is it really worth the mayor's time, the city's time to go out here and waste your efforts to ban pickleball? Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy.
I'm just telling you.
I know a lot of these people. I know it's in a affluent neighborhood and kind of area in California. And I know a lot of those people probably haven't had too many struggles that other people deal with, the same kind of struggles. But at the same time, man, like, this shouldn't become a struggle now. Like, you shouldn't create struggles in your life. That's crazy. You're a crazy person if you think this is worthwhile.
And again, now I'm not going to say, because it says ultra wealthy, right? Higher, we're up here.
Not the same kind of struggles. No, that's
we're not living in their neighborhood.
No,
to know what that is like one way or the other. Brandon Woodruff, I don't know if he lives in that neighborhood, ultra wealthy, but $22 million that man is going to make coming up here in the next season. And Brandon Woodruff talked in a phone interview. Kurt Hogazer from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Quote, when the Brewers extended the qualifying offer, I took that as a big compliment. I really did. I also took it as they really wanted me here. I know the ramifications of offering a one-year, $22 million contract to a pitcher in the Brewers organization. That has never happened. I don't take that lightly. When they did extend it, that was a signal to me that, yes, they were serious about winning and wanting to move forward with me and had confidence in my abilities. That was all I needed to see from them.
Do you think Corbin Burns saw this and is probably feeling some sort of way about it? Like, they didn't give him any respect in any kind of deal like that. And now they're saying, Brandon Woodruff, we love you so much that we'll do something we've never done before.
Do you remember what Matt Arnold said about Brandon Woodruff? Matt Arnold said, I'm not going to say direct quote, but pretty much best big game pitcher he's been around. He didn't say that about Corbin Burns. He hadn't said that about Freddie Peralta. He said it about Brandon Woodruff. That means they're saying, in the playoffs, I want this dude pitching for me in Game 7. This is my guy. I don't know about the rest of these cats I got, but I want Brandon Woodruff. I think that's a large part of the reason why they were comfortable giving it to Brandon Woodruff. And again, I don't think they lost the playoffs to the Dodgers because of pitching. They lost because of their bats, and they didn't have Brandon Woodruff, but the rotation again with Woodruff, Peralta, Mizorowski, Priester, and Chad Patrick, or Logan Henderson, or Robert Gasser, whatever it ends up being, or if they get Quintana back, if that's what it is, there's a really, really good rotation that's going to win a lot of games in the regular season. Now, can they stay healthy for the postseason?
It just feels like in a long time, to your point, can he stay healthy in a postseason? We haven't really seen him in a game 7 in a long time, man.
Yeah.
We've been able to see Freddie Peralta. We even got to see Corbin Burns in a couple playoff runs. Brandon Woodruff, yeah, he could be that awesome big game pitcher. He's done that a few times, but not at the same amount or same level as these other guys have. And yeah, I get it. You want to give him that confidence for when he does come back and eventually is in that situation. But doesn't Corbin Burns deserve to get that kind of confidence too? I feel like doesn't Freddie Peralta deserve to get that kind of confidence? That's just weird to me.
I think the Burns thing went sideways, if we remember correctly, back in arbitration. Mm-hmm. Like Hader.
But just pay him. Just get past that, man. You could have done this.
I think that's obviously definitely a part of this. Woodruff also goes on to talk about, I'm 2 years post-surgery, and the surgery really isn't even a thought. It's my body. I'm able to go through off-season workouts and not worry about other things that are bothering me or having been bothering me. I'm able to go do my thing and my program and have a good workout and feel good. I haven't had that in a couple of years. That's going to be massive going forward. I'm in the middle of my workouts, ramping up, getting ready to start throwing here in a week or a couple of weeks.
Nice. That's good news.
Man, the World Series was just how long ago? Mm-hmm. And this dude's already talking about ramping up to get ready to go for the next season.
That's awesome.
We're talking about short off seasons and so forth. Like that is the only shorter, we're talking about the shortest off season is NASCAR, right? Because they're like testing and stuff in January. They're doing the Daytona 500 in February, and their damn thing doesn't get done till right around November as well. So that's really no offseason. They're like a month and a half, 2 month offseason, and they're back at it again. Baseball, depending on how long you play in the postseason, you don't get that much of an offseason there either because pitchers and catchers report middle of February. And if you're a pitcher, you got to start ramping up by middle to end of December at least?
Well, and I think in modern professional sports, is there really any offseason for any of these sports, if we're being honest? That's a lot of these guys are doing work or working on their bodies during that 2 months that they have off. They're constantly thinking about their job and their sport.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, I got one more thing here in things that Sparky missed. This was from a couple days ago, so I apologize. But a couple of days ago, so whatever that would have been the 18th, on this day back in 1940, the Packers, and there's a picture, the Packers became the first NFL team to travel by plane to and from a game in 1940.
That probably was a pretty scary experience back in 1940.
It's a propeller plane, man. And they're all, I don't know if you can even see it, they are all standing there in front of the propeller plane, getting ready to fly to and from their game that day.
I bet they had a Doug Gottlieb situation on their hands, had to pick a few players to leave off a propeller plane like that. You got to be smart about the weight back in 1940 on those things, man.
Could you imagine? You're too big. Get off.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to crash.
Offensive lineman coach.
We're not making it to the game if you're on that plane.
No, it's either that or we're not bringing the equipment. So, but I mean, back then you probably didn't have the shoulder pads, helmets, and everything else either. You didn't have all that equipment to deal with.
Wear them.
Yeah, you have to worry about any of that stuff. All right, that'll do it for another episode of Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Enjoy the rest of your night. Tomorrow we stuff in the bus at Metro Market in Wauwatosa for Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Look forward to that tomorrow at 2. Have a good night. Toodles.